Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Frosty here with another video. Hope you guys are doing well, doing pretty good myself, and I hope y'all have been enjoying the recent content. And yeah, this story time is definitely one I'm not proud of doing. And just again, don't ever recreate what I do in these story times because they all come from a place of stupidity inside of my little pre-pea brain. So let's jump right into the story time. So this day all begins as a normal day in the middle of my 7th grade year, either the second or third quarter, more specifically a Friday during this year, and I wake up pissed at the world because yet again it's another day that I have to get up early. That was the main problem, getting up early, but I had to go to school as well. So I get ready, I'm looking sexy for school, I'm all ready. Hey boy waits outside for the bus just like normal. I get picked up, me and the boys are up to some buffoonery on the bus as usual. We get to school, and the middle schoolers go to their breakfast groups, and your boy has all the boys in his group, so I go. It's actually my computer classroom that was our breakfast room, so that was pretty dope. One of my favorite classes. Your boy is munching down on some frozen food. You already know, like frozen Lunchables, frozen burritos, and drinking some chalky milk. But after this, I had first period, and this period was English, and this class sucked dick because of the teacher. She was a bitch. But anyways, I'm sitting there in class actually kind of waiting to go to my next class. Next class was my computer class, the one I had for breakfast. And in this class, we learned how to type and work a computer properly. But anyways, your boy sits through his boring ass English class. I actually talked about this English class in a different video. But anyways, and finally it's the next period. I'm gonna give a little bit of a backstory. Usually in school I'm a pretty good student. I get good grades and I do my work and I pay attention in class. Still am to this day, but for some reason my 7th grade year, towards the middle, second and third quarters, is all when this went to shit because I thought it was cool to fuck around during class instead of doing my schoolwork and stuff. And then when I actually did my schoolwork, it was mostly half-ass, so your boy was not doing so good in school. But also, I was not failing anything, which was good, but I did definitely have multiple D's and C's, and I think I had 2 B's at the time. I had 8 classes, so a lot of grades. But anyways, your boy was cooked, to say the least. And the story time is during the end of the second quarter. I said this in the beginning. As well as I got paid for good grades at home, which I think for A was $5. But to get a 4.0, I would earn myself a crisp $100, which is dope as hell. Like, my brother is the GOAT for this. But anyways, back to the story. I get into my computer class and I'm like, shit, what are we doing today? And we did this typing program. I don't know if you guys had this, but it was like Mavis Beacon. But this thing sucked royal dick, and we had to do this for about 15 minutes at the beginning of class. And your boy would sit there and spam GH on his computer like a dick and not do his work, obviously. And we eventually all finished this at the beginning of class, and then we moved to whatever else we're working on in the class. I have no idea what we were doing this day, probably working on some whack PowerPoint or something. And then after this, since it was a Friday, we were able to play games and whatnot on our own. And for a little, me and my friends played a game called Nitro Type. You already know your boy was cooking up. But after this, since report cards were coming up, your boy was nervous about this, and I was not doing well in school. And I was like, I'm gonna do something devious. So I logged into my grade book, and I can see that I'm doing shit, and I'm like, fuck, I'm fucked, buddy. And I'm sure you guys know this, but if you don't, if you right click on the mouse for a computer, it gives you options for that certain window. One of those options is inspect, and you can click on that and change some of the code, which, yeah. And overall, it's pretty fun to mess around with. And I can remember fucking with my friend with it too. My friend would go to the bathroom and I would change the words on his screen to blank is gay or something like that, or blank sucks dick or something like that. Just really funny pranks. But this day, I decided to use it for evil. And I went into the grade book and I changed all my grades with this inspect option to 4.0 status. And then I was like, hey miss, can I print out my grades for my dad? And because she wants my grades now. And teacher was like, yeah, let me print them out. And I was like, okay, dope. So I sent them over to her. I saved it as a picture, a JPEG in my computer, and then I emailed it to her so she could print it out, which she did. And then I got it, so I was like, dope, thank you. And I went along my day. The rest of school was pretty normal, just boring school shit and that I was not doing at the time. But fast forward to when I get home from school, my dad knew report cards were in soon, so he was like, did you get or know when you get your report card? I was like, speak of the devil, I have that bitch right here, and I unfold it from my back pocket and I put it on the table. He picks it up, he's like, well, kid, you're doing pretty good. Keep this up. And then my dad was like, tell your older brother when he gets home and show him. So I sat there thinking, I kind of felt bad because of what I did and pulled a dick move. But also at the same time, I was hypnotized by $100 because I was a stupid 7th grader. So yeah, I fucking turned into the devil with his titty hairs twisted and turned into a bitch this day. But anyways, fast forward, my brother gets home and I'm like, here, look, I got a 4.0, and he's like, dope shit. And I think during the weekend we went to the mall and I got my money, probably blew it all. But also during this time in my head, I'm like, okay, when the actual report card gets here, I'm gonna intercept that bitch and rip it up and throw it away. So fast forward, I actually get it somehow faster than my dad. Don't ask me how I did this, but I got it faster than my dad. Ripped that bitch up, threw it in a trash can, and then like I threw like old food on top of it, like maybe leftovers or something, to hide it in like a paper plate or something. So your boy had effectively hid the actual report card, and my dad was under the impression that I was doing good in school. So, and actually before the story time, I actually told my dad about the story. He said I was a demented kid. But anyway, guys, that pretty much wraps up today's story time. And if you enjoyed it, definitely drop a like on the video. And the moral of today's story is don't be like me in the story time. Don't fake your grades. Just be a good kid in school. Don't be a dick. Don't rob your older brother. And later, guys. Stay frosty.